Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is the sequel to the smash mega hit Black Panther, which broke a lot of grounds in terms of, for one, it was, I believe, the first comic book movie to get major Oscar presence at the awards circuit and Academy Awards and all that, being the first to be nominated for Best Picture and all that. The fact that in the US, it made more than an Avengers movie, Infinity War, that same year. And it was one of the better standalone superhero movies for an introduction character, if you will. And this sequel had a lot to really prove because being as how Marvel is cranking out so much, so fast, it's kind of getting oversaturated. And that's coming from someone who's a big diehard Marvel fan, that I love Marvel Studios. They're one of my favorites. And even I'm like, let's calm down with this. And so you have that along with, of course, the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, who was Black Panther, the main character. And so there was a lot of questions on what they were going to do because they'd already announced they weren't going to recast. So we were wondering how they could serve that character justice and what's going to happen going forward with these characters in this movie, since the movie was written before he passed away, so they had to change everything. Well, needless to say, the movie, like him in particular, his shadow, his character over the presence of the movie, it really sticks with the movie for a lot of it because it puts the city of Wakanda and all in a different light, and just how it opens was really, I don't want to dive into too many spoilers about, but let's just say his presence is known and it sits with you for the majority, if not the entire movie, because you're like, wow. And of course, you have another big threat and another hidden village that no one knew about in the water. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Namor. And like with the previous villain, he wants to pretty much destroy the world, take over the world, because of how him and his people have been wronged by the surface people, as they call them, people who live on the surface, how they treated them and their people. And so it really dives into social issues like that. And this is where it could get a little tricky by how, because when you have this much going on in your movie, about, of course, all the stuff with the passing of your main character, trying to tackle on social issues in a climate where half of the country and a lot of the world is really divided on different political opinions and beliefs. And you're going to add to that in a way by basically putting your foot down and say, this is how I believe it to be. This is my perspective. And it can be kind of polarizing, which the first film sort of did that, but it didn't do it as much of a aggressive way as I feel this one does, where this one literally the premise is Namor wants Wakanda to team up with them and they can both destroy the world, but of course Wakanda and all's like, no, that's crazy, and then they fight each other and it gets really crazy. But a lot of sin through that, in terms of that, looking at it through those lenses, was really, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. And my main fear going into the movie is that they were gonna use Chadwick Boseman's death as a way to propel the movie and make you want to see it, because in all the marketing and stuff, it was about him being dead and using his name and character to be like, we need to see what happens next. And I don't know, it just felt kind of gross because it felt like they were using it as a marketing tool for you to see their movie instead of actually feeling bad for his death. And that's how I felt. It wasn't really like that because the movie I still think is pretty solid, because even though it kind of got scary for a minute when they were making you think that they were going to team up against everyone on Earth and all, but then you realize that just wouldn't sell well if you literally had two groups of people teaming up to destroy the world. And Wakanda is supposed to be, they're all like the good guys, right? So it didn't pan out that way, so that kind of saves it. But the main concern I have is a lot of people, even on Twitter and all, like I remember when the first one came out, everyone said Killmonger was right. We need to, get revenge and violence and everything. And I was like, fucking psychos, you crazy people. And they need to really be more concrete in what their message is. Do they want that? Is that what they're trying to say about, yes, they are the bad guys and they do defeat them and etc., but are they actually wanting the bad guys to win in the real world? Or what? Because you need to be more concrete with these crazy people online, because who knows, maybe they might try to do something. But again, I know this review isn't really being like a review. It's just concerns that I've had about when I watch these two movies because of that. Especially this new one. Like, I didn't really notice it past, but this new one really made me think about it and be like, wow. And I know this video is kind of weird, so hopefully I don't get in trouble or whatever by a lot of people for saying this is my perspective, my opinion on this as a white guy. But besides all that uncomfortable topics, you have some really strong performances, especially from Letitia Wright. She was great. Even the mom, Angela Bassett, Denai Guerrera as, Okoye. Like, a lot of them do a great job. The locations, of course, of the underwater world and Wakanda and all is really good. The fight sequences, especially the end, it was really well done. And I don't know, it's just I'm kind of bummed out from Marvel, and so I don't have as much energy really with this movie. Like, it's not bad. I had good moments with it. There was some good fights. The villain, even though, all I said, I still think it's a really good villain, and the actor did a great job, because I heard he didn't speak any English, I believe, prior to this, and so he was terrific. He spoke crystal clear, and he really did a great job. And I really am looking forward to seeing where they go from here, because when you watch the movie, you know. And even with the after credit scene, it made my jaw drop a little, because I was like, no way. So there's a lot of open ends on where this can go. But with all that said, those are my thoughts on the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Again, please be respectful down below in the comments. Do you agree with any of my ramblings? Do you disagree? And am I wrong with thinking about some of that ways that I think? Because that's literally what they're putting in their movies. So, I don't know. Again, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to hit the subscribe button as well and hit the notification bell, that'll be great. And thank you all so much yet again. And I hope to get more videos out for you soon. Again, I'll see you all later. Bye.